Well, here we are, folks. There's actually two rabbits there. Can you see them both? There's the second one coming to view. How about that? Right next door to each other, just chilling out on the hill. They blend in well, don't they? They're probably looking at my Land Cruiser going, gee, that's a nice truck. You gonna bugger off? You're gonna stay there? She's hot, but we'll turn her down and drop the music for the sake of the audio and the video. Brothers and the occasional sister, good bastards, dodgy deer stalkers, filthy pig hunters, smelly fishermen, tax dodgers, and all the rest of you. People that love what I love. Trucks. Today we're talking about the Toyota Land Cruiser, the 1970, the 79 Series 2025. Gee, Clay, you're in a time warp there, bro. I wanted to just go through some of the things that are a bit special about it. That old plough's a reminder of what used to go on the land here once upon a time. Towed it behind a horse. Anyway, enough yakking. Taken a lot of years for me to get comfortable with wearing a pink shirt. Going to be 61 next week. Isn't that silly? Funny how us blokes are. But nothing has made me ever feel more comfortable than sitting in this truck. Ute, lorry, whatever you want to call it. Truck. Before I start to rattle on about what goes on the inside, I'll tell you a little bit about the outside. Those suckers are old man emu, just because it's a proven product. Works really good. The BMG store in Nelson did that for me. And it's really, so far, there's nothing I can say bad about it. It's a 4-inch lift. If you want to go over that, you've got to be certified, and it's the same with these tyres here. These are 32s pushing to 33, and if you want to go bigger, it's about $900. You can get it done, but I had no reason to do it. These are muddies. The thing about muddies is they're shit on the road. They just make a chunk. But when you're off-road, you love them. So on the farm, brilliant. Rivers, crossing the places we go in the forestry where there's trees everywhere, driving over trees, in ditches, and just the places where the mud really is literally that thick. Without them you wouldn't get through. All terrains won't cut it. The muddies are a must. However, you've got to revolve your tyres. So put this one here on the other side. This one here is a little bit, comes out a bit further, as you can see. They're offset, the back tyres. And I've got these ROH, which I put on these hubs. Mags, at least. It's not a hub, it's a mag. The whole thing's a bloody mag. And they just look fucking cool, don't they? I mean, I love the look of those. What do you guys reckon? Do you like the look of that or not? I reckon they look mean as. So down here we've got the ARB bull bar, and we've got the lamps. These are also put in, the fog ones, different to the factory. They've actually got to replace those. And I've got this beautiful bar, and what I've done is I put the surround as well. I wasn't going to get it, but I decided I'd go and get that put on later. Right down here, took the factory one off the side step and got this real solid one on, which is beautiful. I was going to get it done black to fit with Black Betty, but thought, nah, she should be right. You could always powder coat it or paint it. And as you can see underneath, she goes right into here. So it's heavy duty. It's going to hold it and handle the jandle. Very, very strong. Onto there, fixed on. And same up here too as we go further on up in the truck. She's bolted in there. And again, ARB. Great product. And in no way am I affiliated with ARB or getting paid anything. I'm just telling you guys what I found works bloody good for me. So ARB come out with something, their competitor is Steady. Most of you guys who've got off-road vehicles are running Steady. They came out with this with some German technology in it, which is even more powerful than anything that Steady had on the market 6 months ago. I don't know if Steady have come out with anything new since, but today when I looked at these, they were still the ones that were had the most amount of looms. It's German technology, and there's a controller inside the cab, which I'll show you how that works shortly, so you can actually control the amount that they are, because they are so bright, sometimes they're too bright, they light up all the signs on the road, and you don't want that. Just another beautiful vehicle, V8 no less. That's my old landlord Murray. Anyway, as you can see, the license plate fixed right up like that, so we can get to our winch. Now I did have it tied to the side so it wouldn't fly around and hit everything, but since I've just used it recently, I took that off. I had a tie going from there to there, and I'm going to put that back on later. But this here is a really good setup for utilising space and hiding it, and the winch motor's right in behind there. She's a cracker. That's the Bush Ranger back in there. Lovely, tell your mother. A few people have asked me what are the new lamps like, because last year these come out, the different ones with the shape. They're good. I know guys have replaced them and done other fancy stuff with colours and that, but I don't really care about that. I've left them and I'm really happy with how they are, and it's the same with the indicators. They're perfect, nothing wrong with the setup at all. Some guys get their knickers in a knot about this. It goes up and down a little bit when you're going on bumps, corrugations. Doesn't worry me at all. Couldn't care less. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? It shakes it a little bit, doesn't matter. Right, watch out I don't stand on a bee on the grass. Rightio. Now one thing about these trucks, they have a bad habit of doing silly things like putting stuff on like this. I mean, it looks like grandma's knitting needle. I've talked about it before. It's not even electric. I mean, look at it. It's an embarrassment to aerials. It works. The radio goes fine, but they could have done a wee bit better when you consider the price of the truck. There's a heap of aftermarket mirrors. Holy fuck, when did that happen? Who's that old man looking at me? No, that can't be me, it's someone else. They are great, and I don't know why guys replace them. They put these aftermarket ones on and they're perfect. It's good, and of course when you're in the bush, you hit it, something, as you always do, they fold up nicely, like most mirrors do. But these ones fold really flat like that, they're flush right against it. And I have broken mirrors on my other Land Cruiser, my old one before, but these ones here, I reckon they're pretty tough. I reckon they'll handle the jandle. A few of you have asked about the deck on the back. I want to talk about this in a bit more depth. Made in Christchurch to order from Blackwell's. I did actually take it to bits because I was doing the hay and I lost the ring, so I've got a bit of number 8 wire holding on right now. I use this every day. Yesterday I went out and took the boat out, threw the outboard on the back. It's good. Before I blow up their ass and tell you how good it is, let me tell you something that's shit about it if you're thinking about getting one. And I thought about this when I first got it. I'm just going to lie back. Oh, I'm going to get shit all over my pink shirt now. Fuck. But I'm lying back to show you that there. Can you see that? And I knew that was going to happen. It's delaminated. And that's because you guys at Blackwell's, you didn't fucking paint the sides, did you? Well, if you did, you didn't put a proper sealant on. And the same thing is going to happen eventually along the top here. You have painted it, but you haven't sealed it. And this stuff here, if you don't seal it, it delaminates. And that's exactly what we've got. See, this is only like 4 or 5 months old, and already I've got a lip, and it's bending up because the moisture's got in and got in between. And that's not cool. So my cool honeycomb tough deck, what do you want to call it? It's got a special name, I don't know what the hell that is. That's lifting up because of the delamination going on. Now when I bought this, I thought what I'll do is I'll take the deck off and I'll seal it myself. But it was so much work to do, and I thought, shit, I've just paid for that, why should I be doing that? So what I think I might do is I might say, hey Blackwell's, you going to fix this up for me? Because it shouldn't be doing that if it doesn't handle the jandle after like a year. If it gets worse, and it's actually got some little cracks starting to show, and it's only like 5 months old. See this here? Little cracking just there. I mean, it's not much, but considering it's pretty new, if it's doing that now, what's it going to be like in another year? Anyway, we'll see how it goes. It might be alright, but it is a deck. And as you blokes know, all decks should be hard. You can't do much with a soft deck, can you? All you can do is piss about. You can't get down and do the job, so we need a hard deck. D-E-C-K. Okay, what else is cool? Well, what they have done is they put these on here, which is bloody handy for me. It's a wee thing to tie your dog up. So when you've got your pig dogs on the back, if you don't have a dog box, you can tie their lead to this thing here, which stops it sliding right up the top. Because if it slides up the top, it can get loose, and they could actually help them to get off the side and end up choking themselves. So you keep your lead short. I've got another one of these that I've made up from them. I've had it sent, and that's going to go to the back, the H-bar. So I'm going to have another one. I'm going to get it engineered and put on the back. That way I can carry my kayak. So I'm not using the roof rack that I've had put on. The roof rack is an aftermarket thing, of course. Got that there from Stoke Equipment Centre in Nelson. Not a baddie. Rhino rack, and I don't know if it's strong enough to put my camper. I've got one of those Felden rooftop campers. I don't know if it's strong enough. That's why I'm going to get a second one put at the back. I was going to get dog boxes made up, but because I use it so much for its deck, I'm thinking getting something which is kind of like you could just put up temporarily and take off. I'm going to be doing more hunting with just 2 dogs and 4 in the future as I go towards bailing dogs, so that's going to change for me too. And that bit of wire is going to get bent. So that's the deck. Overall though, I'm bloody happy with it. It's about 7,500 New Zealand dollars. Also from Blackwell's, their Loadmaster tow bar, which is bloody good, really good. So for off-road, we go for a hunt, we whip that out and we take the bastard out. Don't forget, it's got a pinch pin down here, stops it rattling around, loosen it off as well, and she'll come right out. And this one here can take a fair bit. What I don't think is cool is a lot of this wiring they've done, they've got to put it somewhere, but the loom is quite messy in here. It's all not wrapped up, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a problem or not. Time will tell when we go off-road. Let's face it, this is all going to be underwater and get mud and shit in it. Could have it been done a little bit better? I don't know. Time will tell. Right, the tyre, the spare tyre, where it should be. Out of mind and out of bloody sight, which I like, because I fucking hate the setup a lot of you guys have. I've got to say it, it must be a pain for you. A lot of you guys have got your bloody spare tyres on the back, you've got 2, and they're just in the way. I mean, you're getting around with these big fuck-off tyres everywhere, which are doing absolutely nothing, and most of the time you're never going to use them. And that's why mine are behind here, out of the way. Beautiful. Isn't that lovely? And you could probably pack a few things in here too. You could probably carry a small toolbox in there, like there's a bit of space. This comes up to here, you could probably put something in there if you wanted to. Bring something out, you could utilise that space more if you needed to. You could actually fit a toolbox in there. There's a lot of space under there. One thought I did have was putting a cabinet running down the side. My hand is wide enough, just about, so you could put a small cabinet for a rifle down there and put that in the back. And you could do the same, oh, the other side looks a bit narrow. Fishing rods maybe. Transporting my rifle, which I do all the time during the winter when I'm hunting with the boys, is always a concern because it's got to be where you can't see it and where you can't get to it if you're having a bit of road rage and you want to shoot somebody because they're pissing you off. And you've got to have your ammo separate or your bolt separate too, so it can't be used. Having one locked up under there would be a bloody good place, but I'm just not sure about building that and how I would go about that. And also what I would want in it is I'd want it when you open it, a wee light that switches on so at night time you can see. That's just a thought, me trying to think of future ideas. Let me know how you or where you carry your rifle in your 70 series if you have one. Well, this little bastard here is a godsend, and you poor Australian bastards didn't get one, I heard. Or maybe you did, maybe you did. Tell me, if you're in Australia, do you get a backing light, or is it something you're going to put on afterwards? Someone said you guys don't get one, and that just seems mean. I mean, why would you not get one? For, you know, you pay so much money for this, but it's just, for me, it's the first time I've ever had a vehicle that's got one. Use it every day. Heaps of space down there to also put a rifle, and occasionally I do. And then, again, it's out of sight, out of mind. I think these are probably the best ones we can get in New Zealand. In Australia might have something better. You get blood on these here and it just washes off. I haven't blooded it yet. I have had a pig on the back of the truck but no blood inside, but they wash really well. I mean, it's just canvas. Heaps of space for my fishing gear, or blokes who sit in the back if they need to. Plenty of handles and another one there. The interior lights just, oh, what can you say, they are a bit sad, aren't they? Not much going on, but I really do like that they've got these because, you know, it's quite a step from here down to here. A step indeed. The doors are heavy. You shut them and they don't shut every time. The front one, it needs a good slam. If you don't give it a good slam, well, now it's not doing it. Often it won't quite shut like that, but it needs a good slam. At some stage I'll probably get myself a decent one. This is basically a second air filter, not a snorkel. Okay, come inside and we'll show you the inside. Now this is my favourite part here. This is the bit where you sit back and you go, fuck, this is mine, I own this, woohoo! And you can just bathe in it. You don't have to go anywhere, you just sit and look around and it'll give you a bit of a tingle, you know, a bit of a buzz, because you just get that thing. And you guys, it doesn't matter whether it's a Toyota Land Cruiser or a Mitsubishi Triton or a Colorado or a well-built Ford even, dare I say, or it could be a Toyota Sheepshaggy, a Hilux. It might be Amarok. No, I'd rather cut off my cock and have an Amarok. There are some good ones. The Isuzus, ooh, yes and no. Yeah, some good. Yeah, I've got a mate, Daniel's got a pretty good one. Yeah, Most of the vehicles today that are modern, you'll sit inside and they will give you a wee bit of a stiffy, just on some level. These here, it just goes up another level. There are other vehicles around that could probably do the same. You might, if you own any Ineos Grenadier, you might get that same little tickle. If you owned a really well-built, like Nissan Patrol, some of those, they're pretty heavy truck, but nah. For me, and it's only for me, this is the ultimate boner vehicle you could have. That's going to give you a boner. That's the ultimate one that's going to make you go, fuck yeah, for me. And some of you guys will have even had these and gone, nah, sorry Clay, it's the Raptor for me, or it's the Subaru for me. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the inside before I waffle on anymore and show you some of the bits and pieces. Some I've showed you before, some I haven't. You could almost fit a small seat in between here. So this is where I keep my FPOS card and $5 for emergency and glasses because I'm a blind old bastard. But in here, you've got all the storage space down here. And this is a place where I actually can put my ammunition during the hunting season out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind, out of sight is what I meant to say. A bit dyslexic with my speech today. I don't edit my videos. Most of them I don't edit, occasionally, but these are snap vlogs, so if I make a mistake, I'll make a mistake. What you see is what you get is what you see. Let me show you something else. Always carry a pen and my driver's license right there. So this has kind of got this fade in the window, which it came with. It's sort of, it dims, it's blue, and it's just naturally cool. The mirror is very standard. This is the sensory system here, under there, and that's the thing that gives you the intel when you're going off the road and starts beeping. And as I said before, these are just sad, tiny little light. It needs to be about another 1,000 lumens to do the rest. Airbag information on there and on there. Road user and all the other guff. I've still got my manual here. I carry it with me. Plenty of space. Everyone's got one. They haven't changed in 1,000 years. And there's my radio and all the intel for everything. The Bluetooth, the backing, reversing, camera, which is just a godsend, as I said, and all the stuff on that. I won't turn it on and go through that because that's quite technical, but it's something you want to spend a bit of time with doing. And our hazard lights up there. Clock. What I really loved was having this, but more so was having the C fittings, because I use a Galaxy phone and everything's C fittings these days, and rather than the old generic big USB plug, these were great. There's sometimes you don't want to use this, the traction control, and the thing about this switch here is it tells you on the front whether it's on or off. Currently it's on, so it doesn't show you, but if it's off, the light comes on and gives us the information there. Over here also is where we get information if the DPF is running or not, which it kicks in every so often. Clean her out a bit. I like this setup because it's clear to see oil, fuel, temp, and our voltage. And our tachometer, or our how many revs, piece of cake to see. It's hot right now, and I think in Australia it'd be probably twice as hot, but our air conditioner, it actually is really good. And you give you like how much you want it to go, that's right full tit, and it's like nothing. But there's low and there's medium. But then you've got this, and this increases how cold it is, or hot it is, and that's all. I think it's actually the heat, but it really works like real cold if you've got it right to there in full. That makes it really cool in here. And when it's hot, it's a godsend for summer. This is something that I was really excited to have when I got the truck, a diff lock. Now, a diff lock is a thing you use when you get stuck. Or at least I think that's what it does. I don't know anything about the diff lock because I've never had one before. And so far, I've only used it once when I got stuck. And when I got stuck, I engaged it and then I wasn't stuck anymore. And that's the only time I've used it. Right, I wanted to show you also the controller for the steady, I was going to say steady, they're not steady, they're ARB. I was going to get steady in my mind, but the ARB lamps, not steady, nah. So with our lamps, we've got this really cool thing going on here where we can actually change our lamps, like bring them higher or lower, up and down. Isn't that cool? That's our main lamps, the actual factory ones. And then down below where my mirror control is, I've got this here. And this here gives me different levels of brightness for my ARB Solace lamps. Everything on the steering wheel is pretty much like factory to what you have on other stuff. Your control for your radio, your Bluetooth, your wipers, all the rest of it is basically the same. Your indicator, there's nothing new and exciting there and innovated. It's pretty much the same. Right, the gearbox. Well, she's a manual and that's the way I like it. And it's easy to operate. You can get an extension on the stick and get one that's up further. And I've thought about getting that. I might yet. I like the idea of having a stick up here. And yeah, this is all pretty basic. You get one little sad little cup holder here. And it's where I keep my change for the parking meter. There is an aftermarket attachment you can get on your door for your drinks. As I said before, we get these here. They didn't always have them. They used to have the wee windy one. Now over in the hay shed is my old one just sitting under there. I'll just zoom in slowly. You can see her there. She goes hiding away. Still goes. We just need to do a bit of work on her. But she's got the old windy ones. No, sorry, I tell a lie. She's also got electric. The one previous to that had the windy ones. But I have seen in Australia, I have seen some that are quite modern with the wee windy ones. Are they still coming out like that, or is that am I a bit sort of behind the times? I saw one a while ago on a TikTok someone did and had the little windy ones, and the guy was going, what the fuck is this? I think it's quite funny actually. Let's talk about the key. The key comes with this thing that looks like a bloody mobile phone almost. It's that big. I mean, it's like having an extra lump in your pocket. Might be good for some of you guys, but not for me. And there's the key there. They don't make it so it's all in one because it's so big. And it is big. It's a chunky thing to carry around. I mean, look at the size of that there. I don't know why they made it so big. I don't know why they couldn't have incorporated it into the key. They didn't, but that's just the way it is. Seat belts have always been pretty much the same. There's a few more whistles and bells and things I could talk about on this here, but that's probably the things that I've been using the most. I haven't explained any depth how the winch actually operates and what goes on with that. And I haven't looked under the bonnet. I will crack the bonnet on another video and show you a little bit about the engine, talk a little bit about the engine, because that's actually quite interesting. Just going to go and see if the fish are working today. I do have to dog tucker a couple of old rams there, and the truck will be good for that. Because I can use it for all my gear on the back. Normally I'd butcher with the Hilux, but you can't really get a whole, well you can, on the tailgate you get a whole animal. But I can easily put a sheep on the back of this if I drop the guts out and show it up and easy do two. You could in the Hilux, but I've got dog boxes in there that stops me, so I don't have a flat deck. I guess what I'm saying is, by not having a dog box in the back, I've got a little space I can use for jobs like that. Look, that felt a bit funny. I nearly went into fifth then. And occasionally I've done that, you slide into the wrong hole. You don't want to do that, boys. Yeah, you put it into fifth instead of third. I've also found that the first gear is so low in this, sometimes I bypass it if I'm on a bit of a hill and I just go straight from second. And I also know some of you guys go from first and bypass second and go into third. The gearboxes on these are pretty heavy, but I don't think the clutches are. I think the clutches could be better, only my 2 cents worth. You certainly would want to replace your clutch to something a bit stronger if you were going to get your engine made a bit faster as you can in these here. Right, I'll get off my phone because I'm actually driving. I shouldn't be talking while I'm driving. Okay, here's where things are a bit funny. The lock on these, look at that. We're just halfway across the road on the other side. Most other vehicles, you'd piss bowl that. So they don't have a great lock. But what do you really expect? I mean, it's an agricultural vehicle, you know. It's a big vehicle. So it's a lot of wagon to move around. Wow, she doesn't look flash out there. I went out yesterday, did a live feed on my channel and caught one herring. It was probably the worst fishing day I had. Funny, I chose to film it and it was shit. I was going to go out there, but yeah, she looks a bit lumpy, a bit windy, and the fishing's not good right now. Well, it is good. It was good, but suddenly it's not good anymore. Yeah, I'd like to catch some kingfish. They do come in when the temp comes up here. Hey, if you've got one of these beasts, any tips and hacks would be appreciated from what I've showed you on this video, because there's things I'm still learning. It's early days for me. Anything you can add to it that can make it better for you. Some people say get it under sealed, and maybe I will. I won't be putting this in the surf though, like some of you guys do. Hell no. And I'm going to be doing my oil changes probably every 5,000 rather than 15,000 like they said, because this is the truck that's going to see me out for the last of my days. So I want to know that the engine's been really well looked after. I won't be selling this. Somebody else will be driving it when I'm dead, because this will last way longer than me, for sure. Probably my daughter or my son. But I do want to keep the maintenance up, even more so than what they say, because it ain't going to do it any harm, that's for sure. Let me know if there's anything you could add to what I've talked about today that would be useful. I'd appreciate that. And if you've got one of these, pull out of me local boozer in me Toyota Land Cruiser. She's a bloody doozer, gets me where I need to go. Well, she may be well outdated and naturally aspirated, but she never leaves me frustrated. Man, she sure can tow. And the irony is, I made that song up when I had an old one, and now I've got a new one. Go steady, brothers, and the occasional sister. Thanks for being a good bastard, and we'll see you in the next one. See you later.